All right, it's the game is the game. NBA live stream of consciousness. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you have not. I appreciate the love and the support. Let's go ahead and get into it. So today was an interesting day because Ben Simmons and Harden finally spoke to the media. And I mean, these press conferences, what is there to glean? The interesting that I think that I did heard that made me laugh a little bit is Ben Simmons mentioned that he had his most efficient playoffs when he was flanked by Mario Bellinelli and another shooter, I forget his name. And to me, I just think that that's ridiculous because I mean, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant aren't just standstill shooters that are going to be running and curling around Ben Simmons screens. Ben Simmons has talked about pushing the place and flying. That's really not KD's game. I think if you remember KD on the Warriors, there was a lot of isolation basketball, and they were talking about that motion basketball, and KD said, after a while, you just need someone that can go in the half court and score buckets. That's not really KD's game. He's not a runner. He's not really a high volume 3-point shooter. He's not. He is almost a Carmelo style. Obviously, the apotheosis of that, the highest level, the magnum opus of that. But he is a Carmelo Anthony style player in the sense that he wants to get into the half court and ISO a little bit. He wants to get in there, clear out the side of the court, let me ball. And I just don't understand what Ben Simmons is thinking. I mean, I don't know. It's always interesting to me that how players scout each other, because I played college basketball at Fresno State. Playing is loose because I didn't get on the court. I was an ass back every time I left the bench. They told me get my ass back to the bench, but uh, I loved hoop. I wasn't one of those guys that just played basketball and didn't watch it. I loved hoop. Used to watch a lot of hoop. And the year that I watched basketball the least was the year that I played on the Fresno State team and I was traveling with the team. It's hard to watch basketball when you're traveling from this city to that city. When you get in this city, it's 8 a.m. and you have practice and shoot around and you're trying to catch up on sleep and you're in different time zones and you forget, oh, this team is on that. So, honestly, players don't watch players play like that. The really only judgment they have on players is when they're playing against that player. And I think that's why you see players make such bad decisions when they're trying to add another player onto a team, because they look at it like, hey, this guy gave me buckets when I played them. And they're not looking at the totality of how this guy plays in the season. Their only reference point is when they play against that guy. NBA players are playing or traveling when these games are going on. So how do they have the time to watch? So I don't know what he's thinking. Maybe he's playing 2K and he thinks, oh, Kyrie Irving and KD have 3-point icons, so I can just run around and then hit them. And when I played on the Sixers, I only had one guy with a 3-point icon, so now I got two guys with 3-point icons. So we just gonna tear it up. Maybe he thinks that's what it is, but I mean, I think if he actually watches the game, you would see Kyrie and KD. They're not those type of players. They're ISO one-on-one players who like to get their work in the half court. They're not really run and gun. Let's push the place. Let's fast break type guys. That's not really their game. It's never been their game. So I don't really understand that. But I mean, hey, whatever helps you go to sleep at night. I'm not going to really talk about the mental situation. I know a lot of people, Howard Eskin took shots like, oh, he's ready to play now. I don't really know what happened. The one thing that I will say, maybe in defense of those individuals, is the way that he carries himself is a problem. Mental health aside, like taking these shots, saying, "Oh, I didn't attack Embiid when he played versus Toronto," or I believe it was Ramona Shelburne that said, you want to feel bad for him, but there's an arrogance that comes off from him that it's just like you feel bad for him, And at the same time, it's just like, man, like, stop saying that shit. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Harden said that the Sixers were his first option last year, that it wasn't the Nets. And, everyone thought, and I don't know how much of this is true or not. There's another thing I thought about, there's so many players that have their own podcasts and have their own outlets, but it's not like we're getting more truth than we've ever got before. There's not like we're getting to a certain level of truth that was only found in tell-all books. Like, these players are still holding things. They're just twisting the narratives of anything. Because now he's saying, and maybe he's telling the truth. Now he's saying that Brooklyn was his second choice. He wanted to go to Sixers the whole time. So, I mean, I don't know if that's true. We'll see. I'm recording this now. The Sixers are getting blown out by the Celtics, who have won, I think, they're 9 in a row. So, I'm sure that, this is the break, 2 games away from the break. So a lot of people are just crawling to the break and trying to get there as quick as possible and trying to, figure things out from there. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of that. But yeah, he's saying that now, that was his number one choice the whole time. So we'll see. Fit with Embiid, I think he's going to fit well. They need a primary ball handler. They should be on the market for a buyout guy, a wing. Danny Green just looks really creaky of late. And Tobias Harris, I don't know what the hell happened to him. I don't know what the hell happened to homie. I'm watching a little bit of this Sixers game, and he's not even in the same galaxy as Tatum and Brown. Someone with a max contract. That's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow. I hated the trade when Elton Brand made it, and it was just overly thirsty. And I'm learning in my life to being overly thirsty in business when you first come in. Fab says, I learned as a young G, even when you hungry, never move like you starving. And I made a move business-wise like I was starving. And I think Elton Brand made a move in that situation like he was starving. And sometimes, I've railed against conservative nature of GMs, but sometimes you got to be a little bit more judicious, when making moves. So, the Bucks are close to signing Bembry. They just needed a wing. They lost the wing and losing Dante DiVincenzo. I think they're a little creaky. I don't like their bench. The bench is really creaky, depending on guys like George Hill and Boogie to give you buckets off the bench. Now, hey, they didn't have Dante last year in the playoffs, so you can say, hey, they won it without him. But I think that was extraordinary circumstances when you think about what happens in Brooklyn in the playoffs, so even what happened to Atlanta in the playoffs as far as injury wise. So I don't know if you can count on that again. Wiseman clear for 5-on-5. The Warriors have been playing terribly. And one of the videos I'm going to be making this week is about Draymond Green, and I don't think you can underestimate what he means for them offensively and defensively. He's the cog. He's the really the one that stirs the drink. Their offense gets really stagnant and does not have the same movement when he's not playing. And I've said it multiple times. He's the most overrated and most underrated player in NBA history at the same time. And the underrated part is I really don't think that Steph and Clay would be as great as they are offensively if he was not there. The way that he attacks when those two guys are trapped, the way he moves the ball, the quickness and his decisive nature, the energy he plays with constantly. I just don't think you could replace what he does. He's truly unique. I don't know if there's a player that could do what he does offensively for them as well as defensively. I don't think you can get a facsimile of what he does because there's other guys that I think would do well attacking traps, but with the speed that he does, and then to give them what he gives them defensively, I mean, there's just not guys that can do that. Let's see here. Wiseman, like I said, Wiseman cleared out for 5 for 5, cleared for 5 for 5. Well, I'm 5 on 5, excuse me. I mean, let's see. I mean, he what was number 2 pick in the draft with LaMelo Ball in it. That went 3. So I don't know. It's time. We've had the labor pains, and you got to show me the baby. I've heard the labor pains. Now I need to see the baby. The Knicks have just been bad, and check out my video on the Knicks. I mean, I just think if you put the Knicks, well, they were slotted to finish at the start of last year. They were supposed to be in a below 500 team fighting maybe to make the play-in. And then they had the 4th seed, right? And then everyone has the high expectations, and now they're under 500 teams struggling to make the play-in. They're what we thought they were going to be. Just skip a year. So the question becomes, why did they have that blow up that 1 year? And I think I've explained it in their video, so check it out. So too late to put in bets in the day. I'll try to get it out earlier. I think I got killed yesterday anyway. The Sacramento Kings, an atrocious trade. Losing to the Nets with no KD, no Ben Simmons, no Kyrie. That's just a bad team, poorly run. De'Aaron Fox to, put all your chips in forward on him. He's a young player, maybe he approved, but just the way that he plays the game is just incorrect. You go look at, let me pull up the box score from last night. His approach to the game is just wrong. That's the first thing. The way he approaches the game with his skill set is just wrong. So last night, 26 points, 3 assists, just 3 assists. He has 18 shots. Sabonis only has 11. Harrison Barnes has 9. He doesn't get anyone else, the biggest minus on the team. He doesn't get anyone else involved. Head down, loves to shoot, can't shoot threes. Attacks the rim, passes up easy corner 3 shots to put up nonsense floaters, doesn't defend. There's just too much struggle there, man. Too much struggle there. I was a Fox guy. I thought, hey, man, this guy could be John Wall 2.0. It's disrespect to John Wall to compare him to him. John Wall is a far superior player than Fox. Fox is a bad player, man. He's one of the worst type of players because he tantalizes you with all-star ability. So you start to, give him some time, But I mean, I think, hey, let the plane land. He's 24. So, maybe there's a leap in there. But to me, he's been playing point guard long enough that he should understand how to play it. And he doesn't seem to understand that as the point guard, my job is to get other people's shots, that I can't be this score first point guard and shoot the way that I shoot. He's a career 32% shooter from the 3-point line. Career. You can't be this shoot first point guard and not know how to shoot. Not know how to score efficiently. Let's compare him to Ja. Ja's not playing tonight. Memphis is still rolling. Man, Memphis, man. I want to see them in the playoffs. Let's see who they draw, man. So let's pull up Ja. Ja is at 49% from the field. Damn near 50% for a player that's 6'3". Damn near 50%. He's efficient. His teammates will run through a wall for him. He doesn't shoot the 3 that well, but he doesn't shoot as many as Fox. He doesn't shoot the ball. He's the leading shot getter on his team, but he's efficient getting shots, and his teammates love playing for him. Ever heard anybody say they want to run through a wall for Fox? Halliburton, who says he wants to be the next Chris Webber, and you trade him because of what? Like, why was the money burning in your pocket? Like Zach Lowe's report is that they went out and targeted Sabonis. Why? A big man that can't shoot, can't defend, and is a good, not great low post player. That's just too much struggle there. Why? You play Brooklyn. Are they known for big man? What did he give us? What did he give them last night? What did he give them last night? He didn't pull it up. Sabonis gave them 9 points, 9 rebounds in 26 minutes. 4 of 11. 0 of 2 from 3. That's too much struggle there. On the season, he's 19 per game. 19 per game. I mean, there's one season that he had 6.7 assists the season before. So, I heard Zach Lowe talk about this, that he could be possibly a hub working at the elbow. But, I mean, it's hard to say that when De'Aaron Fox is a downhill player. That doesn't really – the skill sets don't mesh. This was a struggle trade, man. I feel bad. I feel bad for the people of Sacramento. But, I don't know. What can you do? Just keep grinding. But, all right, I'll go ahead and leave it there. All-Star break coming soon. I'm going to drop a whole bunch of videos during the break to feed the streets. I'm going to go ahead and just hold them because I know the streets is going to be hungry with no basketball content. I know I'm hungry, so I'll feed the streets. But the game is the game. Definitely subscribe. If you know anybody that enjoys a comment, I would really appreciate it. Comment, let me know if there's something that you want me to talk about. I'll definitely do that. All right, it's the game is the game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, The game is a game. Always.